Hey guys, it's Jessica and welcome back to the Sugar Crystal Kitchen. Today I'll be showing you guys how to make these blueberry butterfly PT cupcake cream puffs. They are so gorgeous and so delicious, so let's get right into the recipe. To begin, we're going to make the pastry cream. Place in 90% of your milk into the pot along with half your sugar and the salt and bring this up to a boil. Meanwhile, combine your cornstarch, butterfly PT powder, and the remaining half of the sugar. Give that a good whisk to break up the cornstarch granules, and we're going to add in that remaining 10% of the milk from earlier. And this is what we call a slurry, which is just the combination of a liquid with starch. Once that is all whisked through, we're going to crack in 3 whole eggs, and by adding eggs to your slurry, you're creating what we call a liaison. Go ahead and whisk those in well. At this point, our milk mixture should be at a boil, so take that off of the heat and we're going to temper this directly into our liaison. By tempering it, you're just going to bring up the temperature of the eggs slowly to the same temperature as the milk without scrambling the eggs. All this back into your sauce pot and we're going to go back onto the heat, and this part is really crucial. You have to make sure that you're whisking constantly. This is what's going to give you a very smooth pastry cream. Once it starts to thicken, take it off the heat and whisk it to check the consistency, and then we're going to go back onto the heat and let it reach a boil and keep stirring it and cook it for 2 minutes while it's at a boil. At this point, we can take our pastry cream off of the heat, and now it's time to whisk in our butter and our vanilla. Just go ahead and stir those in until everything's incorporated, and then we're going to transfer this into our prepared container, which I just lined with plastic wrap. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that the plastic touches the surface of the custard so that it doesn't form a film as it sets. Now we're just going to pop this into the refrigerator to let it cool while we work on the rest of the components. Next up, we'll be making the blueberry compote, so grab your fresh blueberries and throw them into a small size sauce pot, and we're going to also add in the sugar as well as some fresh lemon zest, which will give us that brightness in our compote. Next up, we're also going to need some more cornstarch. This is our thickening agent, and we're going to make a slurry, but this time with lemon juice. I used the same lemon as the one I used for the zest. And then just go ahead and toss it with the rest of the ingredients in the sauce pot, and we're going to head to the stove. Now we're just going to cook this over medium-high heat, stirring constantly until our compote thickens, and this is what it should look like. At this point, you can take it off the heat, and we're also going to transfer this into a container as well. Let it cool in the refrigerator, and then what I did after that was I just blended it and strained it and placed it into a bottle. Next up, we're going to be making the craquelin on top of the cream puffs. So for that, we're going to cream together your butter and sugar. This butter is soft and at room temperature. And then after those are well creamed, we're going to add in our flour as well as our butterfly PT powder. This powder is so beautiful, and this tea just gives it a natural blue color, which is, I feel like, really rare to find. And we're going to mix that well, place it onto our work surface, and knead it until everything's homogeneous. And then afterwards, you just want to roll it really thin. I used a silicone mat here to prevent it from sticking, but parchment paper would do as well. You're just going to take your rolling pin and roll it out really thin. I want to say about 1/8 of an inch, and then we're just going to throw this into the freezer while we work on our Parashu. So for our Parashu, we're going to start by boiling our butter, salt, and our liquids. The ratio for Parashu is 2 parts liquid, 1 part butter, 1 part flour, and 2 parts eggs. So once this is all at a boil, we're going to add in our flour, and you're just going to take your wooden spoon and mix that until a dough ball begins to form, and then we're going to place it back onto the heat, and you're just going to keep stirring until you see what we call a fond, or basically a film, forming at the bottom of the pot, and then we're going to take it off the heat. Place the Parashu into your mixer and we're just going to stir it to cool it down, and then we're going to slowly stream in our eggs about a third at a time, and then towards the end you want to go a little bit less, and this is the consistency we're looking for. So when you drop the Parashu from the batter, it should hold a sharp V shape, or when you pick it up on your finger you should see a soft peak. And now all we're going to do is transfer our Parashu into our piping bag fitted with a large round tip, and then what I like to do is take my bowl scraper and clean up the edge. This just makes it so much neater and easier to pipe. Now here I already have a cupcake tin lined with some cupcake liners, and then I'm just going to pipe my Parashu about halfway up the cupcake liner. Now once you're all finished piping, go ahead and take the craquelin that you put in the freezer earlier, and we're going to unmold it, and then we're going to cut out rounds about an inch in diameter. Probably best to use round cutters here. I left mine at school, so this will have to do for me. And then we're going to take that craquelin and place it directly on the surface of our piped choux. And now we're just going to pop these off into an oven preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for about 26 minutes until done. Meanwhile, we're going to whip up some heavy cream to create a diplomat cream, which is just our pastry cream combined with some whipped cream. So here I have the pastry cream we made earlier, just mixed it a little bit and added it to the whipped cream. Now just go ahead and transfer your diplomat cream into a pastry bag fitted with a round tip. Once your cream puffs are all cooled, we're just going to carve a hole at the very top of the cream puff muffin, and look at how hollow that is. And then we're gonna first pipe our diplomat cream in there halfway up, and then we're gonna follow through with our blueberry compote. For garnish, all I did was add on this white chocolate decor that I had made earlier, a blueberry, some more of that diplomat cream and blueberry gel, and then as well as some fancy gold leaf and a dried lavender petal. And that is it for how to make these blueberry butterfly Pate cupcake craquelin cream puffs. Well, that's a mouthful to say, but they're also a wonderful mouthful to eat. You can see that if you make your Parashu right, that they will turn out very hollow. That's the key part about making cream puffs. And that diplomat cream with that tangy blueberry compote just balances so well. I hope you guys give this recipe a try. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye everyone!